Welcome back to Klepper's Corner. Today in history, the only show brave enough to squeeze 2,000 years of chaos into a single date and pretend it's totally normal. Today is December 5th, a date so historically stacked, it feels like the universe speed ran civilization. We've got collapsing republics, collapsing empires, collapsing buildings, and eventually an entire city collapsing under smog so thick it could qualify as a solid. December 5th is the Swiss Army knife of history. It has everything you need and several things you absolutely did not ask for. So let's dive into this timeline smoothie and see what the past has blended up for us. Segment 1, Republics, Kingdoms, and Quakes, the ancient and medieval shakeup. December 5th in the ancient world was basically the universe beta testing political drama. First up, 63 BC. Cicero stands before the Roman Senate, drops his fourth Catiline oration, and convinces everyone that, no, this is not a drill. This is the Republic's season finale. The Senate votes to execute conspirators without trial, proving Rome was always one dramatic speech away from forgetting due process existed. The Republic gets saved for the moment, but also learns the dangerous lesson that emergencies make great excuses. Fast forward to 771 AD. Charlemagne I dies, leaving Charlemagne alone on the Frankish throne. And Charlemagne reacts with the enthusiasm of someone who's just been handed the Wi-Fi password for Europe. Within months, he unifies the realm, launches a century-defining imperial project, and eventually becomes the father of Europe. December 5th, the day a medieval sibling rivalry ended and Western civilization breathed a sigh of relief. And speaking of sighing, in 1456, the Earth itself lets out a massive one. The Naples earthquake hits with a magnitude around 7.2, devastating southern Italy. Entire towns fall, tens of thousands die, Renaissance projects stall, the economy tanks. Medieval chroniclers do what they always do during natural disasters. They blame it on God being in a bad mood, or possibly Mercury being in retrograde before retrograde was cool. From ancient Rome to medieval Europe, December 5th is here to remind us that power structures are fragile, tectonic plates are petty, and senators will always vote for the most dramatic option available. Segment 2, Discovery, Displacement, and the Global Reset Button. Now we land on December 5th, 1492, the day Columbus reaches Hispaniola. This is the moment Europe says, we're expanding our portfolio, and the Americas say, we didn't schedule this meeting. Hispaniola becomes the launch pad for European colonization, the start of the Columbian Exchange, and the beginning of catastrophic population collapse for the Taino people due to disease, violence, and forced labor. Then, in perfect historical symmetry, December 5th strikes again in 1496, when Portugal expels its Jewish population. Iberia basically holds up a sign saying, religious diversity? Not in this economy. And so one of Europe's most brilliant Jewish communities is scattered into diaspora, enriching the Ottoman Empire, North Africa, and beyond. December 5th, where global exploration meets global displacement. And history reminds us that every discovery often comes paired with destruction. Segment 3, Culture goes commercial. Intellectuals form clubs, and music gets emotional. Jump to the 18th and 19th centuries, where December 5th becomes a cultural buffet. 1766, Christie's holds its first auction. Luxury officially becomes something you can outbid someone for. The aristocracy must have been furious. Suddenly, their heirlooms could be bought by anyone with cash and questionable taste. 1776, Phi Beta Kappa is founded, making it America's first Greek letter society. It's basically academic Hogwarts, where students declare allegiance to the magical arts of liberal education, and unfortunately, also future college recommendation letters. 1791. Mozart dies while composing a Requiem, which is the most dramatic exit a musician can possibly make. His death instantly transforms him from underpaid freelancer to eternal genius, proving that the quickest way to boost your artistic reputation is, unfortunately, to stop being alive. 1830. Berlioz premieres Symphonie Fantastique, inspired by an opium trip and a love obsession. It becomes the official birth of musical romanticism and the unofficial soundtrack to every melodramatic college breakup. December 5th, the day culture said, let's get emotional, intellectual, and capitalist, and let's do it all at once. Segment 4, Gold Fever, Ghost Ships, and the American Expansion Era. December 5th, 1848. President James K. Polk tells Congress that gold has been found in California. Instantly, the entire nation grabs a shovel, abandons their families, and heads west like someone yelled, "Free Wi-Fi!" This transforms California, reshapes the U.S. economy, and accelerates tensions leading to the Civil War. Honestly, no president has ever caused Americans to run faster, not even during tax season. Then we have December 5th, 1872. The Mary Celeste is found drifting, fully stocked, fully seaworthy, and fully lacking a crew. It is the maritime equivalent of walking into your house and finding the lights on, dinner on the table, and your whole family missing. Theories range from sea monsters to spontaneous combustion to maybe they got confused. The real mystery is how this date keeps generating plot lines strong enough for 5 seasons of a Netflix show. Together, these events prove December 5th is the patron saint of adventure, mystery, and making questionable life decisions. Segment 5, Moons, Amendments, Constitutions, and Expanding Boundaries. Now we enter the early 20th century. 1904, Himalaya, a moon of Jupiter, is discovered. This is space saying, while you're all busy fighting on Earth, I'm just over here casually adding more moons. 1933, Utah becomes the 36th state to ratify the 21st Amendment, ending prohibition. Bars reopen, crime syndicates panic. Americans celebrate by doing what they were already doing, just legally this time. 1933 again, Judge Woolsey rules that James Joyce's Ulysses is not obscene. Literature is now free to be weird, dense, and confusing without fear of government intervention, which is perfect because Ulysses is basically 1,000 pages of brain yoga. 1936, Stalin's Soviet Constitution is adopted. It promises freedom, democracy, and rights, and then immediately proves it was written as satire. December 5th, giving us moons, booze, books, and propaganda all in one convenient package. Segment 6, War, Atrocity, and a Turning Tide. December 5th, 1937. Japanese forces close in on Nanking. The city is surrounded, the leadership collapses, and the stage is set for one of the darkest chapters in modern memory. It is a day that history records not for triumph, but for the warning it carries. A reminder that authoritarianism and militarism breed atrocities. December 5th, 1941. The Soviet Red Army launches its massive counteroffensive at Moscow. Hitler's troops, exhausted and freezing, suddenly meet fresh Siberian divisions who treat winter like a personal hobby. This is Germany's first major defeat on land. The myth of invincibility shatters like a frost-covered tank windshield. War doesn't just turn on December 5th. It pivots so hard it knocks loose teeth. Segment 7, Flight 19, Smog Hell, and Movements that Reshape Nations. December 5th, 1945, Flight 19 disappears over the Atlantic, giving birth to the Bermuda Triangle myth and launching 1,000 episodes of Ancient Aliens. The truth is likely pilot confusion, but December 5th doesn't care about boring explanations. It wants legends. 1952, the Great Smog of London descends. Visibility, 0. Air quality, chunky. Health effects, catastrophic. This event forces the UK to create real environmental reforms. Nothing motivates lawmakers like, we can't see our own hands. 1955, the Montgomery bus boycott begins. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rises to national prominence with a speech so powerful it could have powered the entire city grid. At the same time, unions merge into the AFL-CIO, creating labor's most united front in U.S. history. December 5th isn't a day of small movements. It's a day of tectonic social shifts. Segment 8, rock legends, broken promises, global icons, and Olympic consequences. 1973, Band on the Run hits the U.S., proving Paul McCartney can still produce masterpieces even when half his band quits and someone steals all his demo tapes. If stress created diamonds, this album would be a jewel. 1994. Ukraine signs the Budapest Memorandum, giving up nuclear weapons in exchange for security assurances. Flash forward, and the world learns that security assurances are not the same as security. 2013. Nelson Mandela dies, leaving behind a legacy of reconciliation so powerful that entire continents pause to reflect. 2017. Russia is banned from the Olympics for state-sponsored doping. It's the first time an entire country gets put in the athletic timeout corner. December 5th, closing out history with music, geopolitics, moral giants, and one giant international nope. In conclusion, December 5th is not just a date. It's the entire human experience packed into a single 24-hour window. It gives us republics saved and republics sabotaged, discoveries that expand the world and decisions that fracture it. It's Mozart dying, McCartney thriving, kings rising, cities falling, activists marching, and dictators posturing. It is the full roller coaster of history, the heights, the drops, and the moments where the ride breaks down and someone has to fix the tracks. December 5th teaches us that history doesn't flow, it erupts. And on this date, it erupts again and again.